Hibernian's Josh DOIG has been crowned the Scottish Football Writers Young Player of the Year. He beat out competition for Rangers' Nathan Patterson, Celtic's David Turnbull and Aberdeen's Lewis Ferguson. But we're here to discuss whether or not the right man won the award. And pretty much that's it, folks. So let's discuss it. Let's have a look at the stats. We'll break it down. We'll discuss whether we think Josh Doig deserved to win it, and if not, who we think should have won it. So, Josh Doig, let's have a quick look then. What did he do this year? Keep in mind that he is a left back, and I guess the only other comparison to him on this list would be Nathan Patterson. But in 26 Scottish Premiership matches, Josh Doig got 1 goal, 3 assists.
Not brilliant, but again,
at least he's contributing.
I mean, yeah, it's not James Tavernier levels, but
yeah, it's definitely not James Tavernier levels, but I think that's pretty good. And he only picked up 2 yellow cards, which again isn't bad. He did feature in the Scottish League Cup twice, but didn't do anything in that. No goals, no assists. So, I mean, solid play. He is only 18 years old, so.
And he took Stevenson at that team.
Yeah, and he took Stevenson at the team, who's been a lifelong fucking Hibernian player, more or less played his entire career at Hibs. So Josh Doig, probably one for the future. Whether he deserved to win it this year or not, it remains to be seen. Nathan Patterson, on the other hand, had no goals and no assists this year in the Scottish Premiership. But keep in mind, Patterson only played 7 games compared to the 26 of Josh Doig. So
scored a good goal against Royal Antwerp.
Yeah, he did in the Europa League. Decent goal there, but I think the Scottish Football Writer of the Year is more for your performances in Scotland. And
well, technically it was in Glasgow.
Yeah, well, technically,
right, I'll be real, right? I would put him 4th at the 4.
I think he's only played 7 games in the Premiership.
Yes,
like he hasn't featured in the Cup, so 7 games in total in Scotland. It's just not.
No, he's 4th.
Yeah, he's 4th, and Nathan Patterson, I think, is definitely going 4th. Up next with David Turnbull.
I think this guy's overrated.
Yeah, I think he's overrated. He's looked pretty good in an awful Celtic squad.
Like, no, gets me. People talk about this guy needs to be in the Celtic squad. What about Billy Gilmore, right? The guy is literally playing for Chelsea. He just bossed City, and he'll probably feature in the Champions League final.
Like, see if Turnbull had joined Celtic when McGregor, Christie, Forrest were firing on all cylinders, would anyone be talking about Turnbull?
Let's be real, Brown, and yeah, like the people you've just mentioned. I think
they're all underperforming. So yeah, it's made Turnbull perhaps like I think he's a decent player, but do I think he's better than Christie? No. Do I think he's better than Forrest? No. Do I think he's better than McGregor? No. Obviously, at the moment, yes. At the moment, yes, but overall, I mean, I don't think we've seen him play at the level of any of those other 3. So
you hear Ryan 118, like, would this guy make it into the Rangers midfield? No.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I probably.
And Andy Walker putting this guy in the fucking team of the season.
Yeah, it's a bit.
What?
I mean, this guy did win the same award 2 years ago when he played for Motherwell. I mean, you could argue at 21 should even be considered for this award. 29 games played in the Scottish Premiership, 7 goals, 5 assists. It's not bad from a guy that's more of a defensive-minded midfielder. I mean, I guess you could argue he's more central, but it's definitely not bad stats there. 7 goals and 5 assists. It's all right. 1 match in the Europa League, 1 goal. He's had an all right season. He's been like one positive out of Celtic's very, disastrous season.
Hadji's not had a good season, right? But I don't think his stats would be far off that. And he scored some crucial goals for Rangers.
Probably.
Well,
but David Turnbull. I would say most of those appearances are probably from the bench.
Yeah, at the start of the season
as well. So
more December. When the league was done, they started playing.
I mean, if David, maybe at those 29 matches, they're not. Most of them aren't going to be 90 minutes. A hell of a lot of them are probably just going to be he's coming off the bench for 15, 10 minutes at the end. So perhaps he would have got even more goals and more assists had he featured more in the Celtic team. And last to discuss, but certainly not least, Lewis Ferguson, Aberdeen, 33 matches played, in the Scottish Premiership. 9 goals, 2 assists, nine yellow cards, which is a hell of a lot. Which was the same as he got 9 yellow cards last year and 11 yellow cards the year before. So Lewis Ferguson likes a card or two. 1 red card. 9 goals in 33 games for a defensive. I'd say he's more of a defensive
He has
midfielder than he
made
is
enough played up
attacking.
front though a few games.
Yeah, he's the highest scoring Aberdeen player this season. Now, partly due to Aberdeen not having a striker.
Yeah, they're just shit.
When they got rid of Cosgrove, when they got rid of Curtis Main, not that he was any good, and the strikers that they brought in, no one's really took off. You had Fraser Hornby, Florian Canberry, and you that Callum Henry on loan for St Johnstone. None of them have featured heavily. And Lewis Ferguson
I'm not being hacked at St Johnstone here, but when Aberdeen are loading in a guy for St Johnstone, what chance do they got? I know St Johnstone have done well, but Aberdeen need to be. You cannot be loading in someone from a team that's well worse than you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's like Ali McCann, I'll give you the pass on him.
And the fact that Aberdeen have barely scored any goals this season, it's no surprise to me that 9 goals for Lewis Ferguson.
It's like even when Rangers
makes him the top.
I wasn't really seeing it. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was fucking weird.
Loan the player for Hibs. Like, I mean, yeah. Normally when you loan someone in, it's a player from a bigger club. You're loaning in a player from
PSG loaned in Mbappe, but that was just to get around paying more money for him.
True. So, Lewis Ferguson, 9 goals. He's the highest scoring Aberdeen player this season. But again, like I said, Aberdeen have barely scored. Their goal scoring record this season has been shocking. So 9 goals leading the way doesn't really surprise me. We have came to the conclusion that Nathan Patterson is 4th on the list just due to the fact that he's only featured in 7 games compared to the 26 for Josh Doidge, 29 for David Turnbull, and 33 for Lewis Ferguson. Question is, out of Ferguson, Turnbull, and Josh Doidge, who would you put third out of the 4 contenders?
Well, I wouldn't say any of the 4. I know we've just narrowed it down to 3, but I wouldn't say any of the 4 have had a great or above great season. But in terms of who would I put third, I'd probably put Turnbull.
I agree.
I don't see the hype or whatever.
I agree.
If Celtic are paying $3 million for a guy who would have cost them more than McGinn, he hasn't exactly set the world alight.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything fade. I haven't seen anything near from Turnbull from what we've seen at the likes of McGinn when he was at Hibs.
See from a Rangers perspective,
you see Billy Gilmore, he looks a level above David Turnbull.
Yeah, see from a Rangers perspective,
levels.
I do not look at Turnbull and go, oh fuck, they've got David Turnbull. Now, see if they had Gilmore, I'd be like, oh fuck.
If they got McGinn, you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Not only is he great, the sell-on value alone, if Celtic went to sell Turnbull, I know obviously potential,
might make a profit. But I mean, it's not going to
see them making a big amount in this guy.
Right,
Gilmore, we're talking, could go for fucking anything.
Yeah, well, not if he plays in the Scottish League, but yeah, for Chelsea, you're looking at could be anything. Right, so David Turnbull then coming in at third. So that narrows it down to just 2 of them. We've got Josh Doidge and Lewis Ferguson, who won the award last year. Do you agree with Josh Doidge winning this, or do you think it should have went to Lewis Ferguson, who is apparently on Celtic's radar, even though his entire family has played for Rangers?
He's joined the alliance. You know what? It's a flip of a coin for me. I personally couldn't choose between all of them, but maybe because Doidge is 18 and he's took out Stevenson, why not? Why not?
Let's put it this way: if you were offered one of these players for Rangers next season,
who would it be?
If you could put one of these in the Rangers team,
Ferguson, because Barisic is better than Doidge, and Bassey's a good enough backup, and he's also young. While CDM, you do need Davis is getting old. Sungu's away on loan. Arfield's getting old. Jack isn't young. Injury prone a bit.
Fair enough.
Kamara and Aribo probably will be going.
So would you go
potentially in the future?
Would you go as far as saying Lewis Ferguson should have won the Young Players a year?
Very easily could have. But
I personally would have gave it to Ferguson.
Yeah, I'd say people can talk about Ross McCrory, but I'd say Ferguson's been the standout player for Aberdeen, and therefore, why not?
I'd say so.
I wouldn't say Doidge's been the standout player for Hibs. I'd say it's more of a not DOIG. No, what is his name? You got DOIG up front, and it's like the same fucking name.
DOIG.
DOIG and DOIG. Fuck.
Just DOIG.
DOIG.
So I probably agree. I think Lewis Ferguson should have won this award. I mean, it is what it is. If you actually look though at the history of this awards, I mean, Hibs were doing very well up until the last decade there. Then it sort of fell off. But Hibs had a period from 2004, 2005 to 2008, 2009 where they won this award 4 times out of 5 years. What do you make of that?
Who were the players?
2004-5 was
Griffiths?
2004-5 was Derek Riordan. Then they missed the following year. Then 2006-7 was Brown. 2007-8 Fletcher. 2008-2009 Fletcher. So Stephen Fletcher won it back to back.
Damn.
By the way, the player in between 2004 and 2006 was Stevie Naismith for Kilmarnock. If anyone cares to let's have a look here, right, at the players that have won this award since it got started in 2001 and see what they've went on to. First player to win it, James McFadden, Motherwell. Had a decent career, you know what I mean? Scored that goal against France.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he'll be remembered for the most. And his red hair. And I guess he had a decent Everton career.
We signed him for Werder Bremen about a million euros.
Yeah. Next year it was Shurab Keishnashvili for Dundee. That earned him a move to Rangers. I never really. He was alright, I guess. I wouldn't say he became a Ranger.
People on this list.
I don't think the guy ever really turned into anything great, but it is what it is. The following year, Craig Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean, 2003-04 went on to have a great career. You know, highest transfer for a British goalkeeper until Pickford broke it. So, I mean, I would say Brent Gordon's better than fucking Pickford.
Yeah. Gordon's better than Pickford.
Following year with Derek Riordan, a player that I don't think ever really. He looked good when he was young, but he went to Celtic and just didn't do anything, did he?
No audio.
I mean, who's he play for now? He plays in like the lower leagues.
I thought he was done.
No, he plays for. Let's see, who does he play for? He plays for Edinburgh City. Before that, East Fife, Brecon City, Alloa Athletic. The guy's only let's keep in mind, the guy's only 38. And in 2012, so he went from Hibs to Celtic, back to Hibs because it didn't work out. Then he went to China, St Johnstone, Bristol Rovers. St Johnstone played 4 games at St Johnstone. He played 9 games in China, 4 games at St Johnstone, 11 games at Bristol Rovers, 2 games with Alloa Athletic, 1 game with Brecon City, 11 games with East Fife, 4 games with York City, and then he's played 7 games for Edinburgh City. I mean, come on.
That's not a lot of games.
And now he's playing in the amateur leagues. So this guy obviously did not go on to achieve much.
Nope.
And following that, Stevie Naismith, I mean, you can't complain. A bit similar to McFadden.
Good career.
Went on to have a good career. Career's not finished by any means, but...
That may as well be.
Wonder, will he be on the flight, though, to... say flight. I mean, basically can get a bus in, can't they? I mean, for 2 of the games at Hampden, anyway.
Scotland's training in Middlesbrough or something? Or is it Newcastle?
What's the point of that, though, when 2 of their games are at...
Because Czech Republic booked up the fucking training ground.
Where? In Scotland?
Aye, Hoover the office.
Oh, for fuck's sake, give them a refund and get them to fuck. Don't know, right? Steve Naismith, kind of similar to McFadden. Scott Brown, I mean, he's went on to be a Scotland legend, I guess.
Scott Brown was ever young.
Yeah, he's always looked like a fucking hard man, hasn't he?
Oh, aye. Never is.
Scott Brown, I mean, was this guy ever good enough to cut it? And do you think partly the reason he stayed in Scotland was because he wasn't...
Did anyone ever come with an offer?
I don't know. DC Man that won him 1 year. Stephen Fletcher, I don't really think...
The likes of Pirlo and Gattuso to fucking Scott Brown.
Stephen Fletcher, I mean, I think he was an okay striker, but fuck me. What I would say is, see when we had him up front, I thought we need someone better than this. And then we went through like a 6-year period where legit every striker was worse than Stevie Fletcher. So, I mean, Stevie Fletcher or Craig McHale-Smith, Chris Martin, Ollie McButt. I mean, come on, give me Stephen Fletcher any day of the week over them. 2009-10, Danny Wilson for Rangers.
That guy's a jobber.
Never, he went to Liverpool, didn't do nothing. Hearts signed him, he just didn't.
Yeah, he's just shite.
I mean, see, some of these players went on to do well, and some of them just did
I'm
not.
assuming Ryan Gold's there.
I think no. I think Danny
Kai
Wilson's
Steven.
no. I think
What?
Danny
Robertson?
no.
What?
2010, 2011, David Goodwillie. Never really went on to.
Bet.
Never. I mean, he plays for who's he play for now? Ayr or someone? Plays for someone in the Crown Beef, is it?
Aye, no, someone should.
I think he plays in the Championship, but not great. 2011, 2012. This guy. It doesn't seem like he should have been playing back then, but James Forrest.
He is 29.
Oh, well, he must have been young then when he won that. So James Forrest won it in 2011, 2012. 2012, 2013 was Stuart Armstrong from Dundee United.
That's out of all the play. Look at the team Dundee United had.
You know, I feel a bit.
Fucking hell, like
David Goodwillie won it in 2010, 2011 for Dundee United.
No, see that year, like they had like Sifke, Gold, Mackay, Stephen, Armstrong, Robertson.
I know, fucking.
I'm sure there's a bunch of other players I'm missing it. Like,
God damn it. 2013-14, Stevie May for St Johnstone. Showed a lot of promise. Went down south and just never really cut it. Came back up to Aberdeen.
Overrated, aye.
Never cut it. Did even get? I think he got a Scotland cap once, but never done anything. And now he's back at St Johnstone. So
I take over McBurney. That.
I mean, 2014, 2015, Ryan Christie for Inverness Kelly Thistle.
Oh.
Gets it a good career. Still his career still going. The next 3 years we had Celtic's Kieran Tierney. No complaints there.
Nope.
I don't think you can complain if
Kieran
Tierney's in the league. Then he's probably got to win it. 18-19 was David Turnbull. 2019-20 was Lewis Ferguson. And like we discussed, this year's winner was Josh DOIG. Anyway, that is it. We'll see what Lewis Ferguson, Josh DOIG and David Turnbull go on to do in their careers. But out of the 4 players, I just think there's more potential from Ferguson, DOIG and Patterson than there is Turnbull. But who knows? Maybe in 10 years I'll come back and make a video and I'll admit I was wrong. Anyway, that's it, guys. Josh DOIG is your Scottish Young Player Football Writer of the Year. He wins the award. Until next time.
Peace.